Hello, I'm going to be doing the no disclaimer book tag. I'm currently snowbound at my mum's house. I can't get to my fiance, which is terribly tragic. So I thought I would do a little tag video. Which trope or tropes in books annoy you the most? I think that would have to be like hero or heroine or main character types who don't really think too much about the situation. They're like maybe more doers, more actiony sort of thing. I prefer to get in people's heads, you know, if that makes sense. Which writer or writers do you feel are overrated, overhyped? I don't really like to take anything away from anyone, but because I know it's popular and I don't think it shouldn't be, but I'm just not really a fan of YA, like the Hunger Games or something like that. But I'm aware that I'm just not their audience. So what can you say, you know? What are your least favourite books you've read since joining BookTube? Well, I don't tend to see stuff that other people are reading and think, oh, I must read that. The only books that I've read because of BookTube are Ghostland and The Hate You Give, and I definitely wasn't disappointed there. So I can't really answer that question. A terrible ending that ruined an otherwise quality book. I'm doing a video soon on biographies of 1920s women. I love the 20s, you may have noticed, but I've just finished one on the disappearance of Agatha Christie, and it starts, the first half is all about her disappearance and it's really interesting, and then the second one is more of a general biography, which is fine, you know, but then it sort of tails off and talks about his troubles as a biographer and troubles that other biographers have had, and because the Christie family are very closed off, and I just wasn't really very interested. I wanted to know about her and I wanted to know about her disappearance, and I wasn't really interested in the rest of it. Sorry, mate. Which fictional character do you wish were not killed off? I can't think of a single one. I think a good death makes things a little more interesting. So maybe... no, sorry. Maybe I'm cold-hearted. What are some of your bookish pet peeves? I think it's often style that puts me off, and that's not really something that can be done much about. An author's style, I kind of know within the first few pages if I'm going to get on with it, you know. So yeah, I often find that it's that puts me off. What are some books you feel should have more recognition? I've mentioned her before, but Julia Platz-Halter, that's right, I think. I really like her. I've found her on Twitter, and also some of the other authors at Bizarrocon. I like them. Just generally, weird things make me happy, and they tend to be more fringe, but then maybe that's the point, so I don't know. What are your thoughts on censorship and banning books? Okay, here's the thing. I'm pretty anti-censorship because I read some messed up things, and I think that it's important that in art-wise people should say what they want and people should read what they want. I do think that it's important to have conversations around certain things, like for example on getting better with racist tropes, sexist tropes, that kind of thing. that's important. I kind of also feel that we shouldn't be saying, no, you should never read this, or no, you should never write that. But people should also be aware that there's consequences with those things, perhaps. But we shouldn't be like outright banning stuff. No, I don't agree with that. I do think that, for example, with the rise of the alt-right and also people like Milo Yiannopoulos and so on, he had a perfect right to write his book and sell it somewhere, but he doesn't have a right to a major publisher. And it's very important that people have conversations around these things in order for those reading them to not just unquestioningly take what they say as face value. So perhaps it's more complicated than some say, but yeah, no, I think conversations around these things are important, and especially with things like the alt-right, people need to perhaps make others aware that of the flaws in these things. So yeah, okay. And the last one is a tag.